I'm Brian Van, SportbikeTrackGear.com, and welcome to another edition of How Do I Get My Boss to Work on My Bike for Free. Okay, this is my man Evan's 2017 Honda Grom, and today we're going to install a set of the Hotbodies MGP levers. They come as a set, both clutch and brake. You can see we've already got them on the bike. Right now we're going to cover features, benefits, talk about the install itself. If you want to watch the whole project, just continue on with the video. The levers are length adjustable. They're folding, and you're able to adjust the distance between the grip and the lever blade itself. So it has all the features and benefits that we'd look for in a lever. Hotbodies has these available in multiple colors. This is the gold that we're showing you here. You know, overall, the quality of the lever, it's what we'd expect. I think at the price they sell for the set, it's a reasonable set of levers for sure, no doubt about it. Are there higher end levers? There are. If that's what you're into, then look towards those. But they look good, they're functional, quality's good. One note I want to make for the length adjustment. Be careful the amount of torque that you put here. There's a rubber washer that's underneath that stainless washer, and if you over torque this, it's just going to spread that rubber washer out to a point where it just kind of falls out, and then it's not going to hold the lever blade properly. So your mind tells you I want to put a bunch of torque on it, but watch that. So when you're tightening these, I suggest flipping the lever blade up so that way you can see it, work it until you've got good tension on it, and then you're good to go. Okay, we're going to start on the brake side. To remove the brake lever, need a 10 mil wrench. Loosen up the lock nut on the bottom. We're going to reinstall that, of course. From there, you can get the pivot bolt out. This threads into the brake master cylinder itself. So don't expect it to just push out once you take the lock nut off the bottom. That's done for safety reasons, obviously. The last thing you want to do is lose your front brake lever. So run that out all the way. And remove the lever. Okay, lever's out. Give you a little tip here. I'm going to get inside here and I just want to clean away any grease and or debris that's in there, okay? There is a little bit of friction inside there, and you want to try and smooth that out as much as you can. It's a little better feel. Maybe not such a big deal on a Grom, but I'm going to take a little Phillips blade screwdriver, just put a thin film of grease. Okay, just a little bit. You don't need to have a ton. We also then want to take and make sure that we've cleaned up that pivot bolt, okay? Wipe any of the old grease, lubricant off of that. I'm going to put just a thin film on there as well. And once I've done that, let's go ahead and get our lever and slide it into position like so. Drop your pivot bolt down in place. So levers are pretty cool. They've got some nice features to them. Folding, adjustability, and length. Available in multiple colors. Hotbodies sells these in a set. And this is a pretty cool, inexpensive way to dress up something like this Grom for sure. I'm going to go ahead and snug this up now. It's important that you don't over torque this. Right? You don't want to crush the ears on the brake master. So you want to run it down, put reasonable torque to it, and then put on the lock nut on the bottom. You'll need a second wrench when you install the lock nut so you can hold the pivot bolt on the top as you tighten that up. Okay, just finish that up. Reasonable torque there. Put the lock nut on the bottom. Hold the wrench on the top and then snug that lock nut. Very important that you do that. Okay, now let's find a spot for the length. realistically, small bike, we're going to dial this thing in pretty tight, fold it up. This is an important tip here. There's no need to crush this. If you do, there's a rubber washer underneath that actually grabs onto the lever. If you over tighten this, it's just going to squirt the washer out. Okay, so be cognizant of that. Find your spot, get it snugged up, and I want you to double check everything before you ride the bike. Now we're off to the clutch side. Okay, clutch side now. Slide back that protective boot. I'm going to loosen up the clutch cable as much as I can. Okay. May need to actually loosen it up down at the clutch cover itself, because that's still going to be pretty tight. So that's how we're going to proceed here. So I'm going to bring this up top where you can see the slot. I've got those two lined up. Come down to the clutch cover, see what tools I need. At the clutch cable, I'm going to loosen up the jam nut up front. Like so. Roll that one back. It's going to allow me to pull the cable up. And now, get a 10 mil wrench, a lock nut underneath the clutch lever pivot. Controls on this bike are really basic. This is essentially a mini bike when you really get down to it. Nut off. Now we have a big screwdriver, big flat bladed screwdriver. Okay, now let's get the clutch lever off the perch. We have to rotate this so it lines up with the slot in the clutch perch. It's going to allow us to get the cable out like so. Release the cable from the lever. Let's have a look at the MGP lever. Let's make sure everything is going to be copacetic here, which it is. Check the pivot. Everything looks good. Same thing we did on the other side. We're going to clean up the perch and the pivot bolt and install a little bit of lubrication. Just a thin film there is really all that you're going to need. A little bit on the pivot bolt too. Before you put the clutch lever on the perch, you have to install the cable like so. I'll feed that back in through the perch. If you need more room here, you can always adjust the clutch cable down there at the cover. It's going to get you a little bit more room, but we're good to go. Get it all lined up. Pass through your pivot bolt. No need to go crazy on the torque here, just like with the brake side. Just enough. Make sure you double check it. What you don't want to do is snug this up so much that you've increased the amount of effort you need to put in by collapsing the ears. Let's get our 10 mil wrench. Lock nut on the bottom side. Hold that pivot in place. And snug up the lock nut. Okay. Now for the clutch cable itself. Let's get that all dialed in. I'm going to start down here. Up to the lever, see what we've got. I want to give Evan enough free play to work with to make adjustments. Go ahead and snug this up with a wrench now. Okay, the goal here is to get that clutch cable in a position where he has enough adjustment up top to not have to come down here and dial the cable in by the cover next time. So what I did is I moved the adjuster out here a little bit, kind of in a centrally located part. Then I came down and worked with the cable. I'll then snug this up. That's good and tight. Come back up here. Clutch lever adjustment is key. If you have it so tight that the clutch is slipping all the time, obviously you're going to lose power. You'll also burn the clutch up, so it's important you've got a proper amount of free play. And then of course you have the rider's preference, lever feel, lever position. So we'll let Evan finish that part off. Just secure the clamp right there. He's probably going to want to tighten that up a little bit, but he can handle that by just sliding the boot back. Now lever length. Fold the lever up, and remember, do not tighten this to the point where that rubber just squeezes out. You want to get it just to where you got enough drag on the lever blade that it's not sliding back and forth. Like so. Double check everything before you ride the bike. Really important, before you take the bike, even for a test drive, you check both sides. Make sure everything's tight, especially that brake lever. You don't want anything to go wrong there. You lose that lever when you ride the bike, you're going to have a big problem. All in all, the parts look good on the bike. Nice folding lever with adjustable length. The fit was good. This is control lever stuff. This is pretty basic. A lot of companies are offering this right now. It's cool that Hotbodies has the sets in the multiple colors, and the price is pretty reasonable. I would say all in all, it's a good part, perfect for the Grom.